Okay.
Okay, but there's a big difference. I said City Hall, not government. City Hall is led by politicians for the most part. It's the City Council and the mayor. Government has its role, absolutely, and there's got to be oversight, responsibility, and expectation, and government can work very well. It's when politicians interrupt the system where it starts to break down. Cirrus, yes, we enjoyed their investment here, but their latest building project, they took 9 months to get the building permit. 9 months. That really irritated them.
Well, and that's because of ineffective government.
No, it's political leadership. I'm sorry, it's political leadership.
Okay.
That seems
That's an
semantics.
interesting discussion.
Go ahead, Don.
I think it's important that we point out that during my time on council at least, 90–95% of the projects that come to the council and that come to the city and that the city's a partner in have been successful, and it's a good partnership, and those are the stories that don't make it into the paper. But then it's that 2 or 3% of the projects that have some sort of conflict or different perspectives involved in which we kind of fight it out in the public. And unfortunately, I think our community tends to dwell on those disagreements, dwell on those fights, and then it comes to define who we are. But in terms of what city government can do, it is clear that the services provided to business for growth and for development are substandard in City Hall, in part because they're underfunded and underappreciated, and that needs to change so that we can provide a strong level of support and those services to encourage development.
Okay. I just want to make note for the camera that Joanne is here. Welcome, Joanne.
Thank you.
We're talking about business climate, so please jump in as the time goes on. So,
Could I just tap in?
okay, then we're going to go to this side of the table over here because I'm just... Go ahead.
Don's comment about underfunded and under service. It all starts at the top, and it is underfunded, and we don't have the staff because of the politics in City Hall.
Okay.
That's where the bottom line is. Politically driven.
Say more about that, just because I do understand, but when you say the politics,
Okay,
what do you mean?
let me put it this way. 20 years ago, the city had, out of the tax dollar, 33 cents.
Mhm.
St. Louis County, 33 cents, and the school board, 33 cents. We now have 22 cents out of that tax dollar. Why are we down to 22 cents? Well, what that does, it provides less money to City Hall to operate. That's why we have less people to employ. It's because a lot of politicians wanted to get reelected. They were thinking about what terms, how, well, they didn't want to raise the property taxes. Well, we have the cost of living increase every year. We have inflation, 2.5%, 3%. We have to raise that cost. We have to raise the money to take in that cost differential every year because we know that the salaries go up in City Hall, we know their benefits go up, and then if we don't keep up with the cost, then we're shorting the cost, the money that we need to support City Hall. And that has happened, and that's exactly what has happened.
Don't we get a 1% sales tax? I mean, aren't we the only city in the state that gets this 1% sales tax into the general fund to kind of offset that 22 cents?
I don't know if we're the only community in the state of Minnesota.
Yeah.
It goes into the general fund. I mean,
Well, we know that,
Yeah.
but sure.
Because we get a huge proportion of our income through sales tax. So,
Which has allowed us to not have to rely solely on the property tax, which is a regressive tax, and we all agree on that. So, that mix is an excellent mix for us.
okay. Well, my question, Charlie, I'm driving at is, are we undertaxed?
We haven't kept up, okay? We have not kept up. You can't catch up now to what we've lost
Okay.
overnight.
Okay.
We can't catch up. We cannot come up to get a third of that tax dollar now. We can maybe gradually, but right now we've got to work on trying to be able to employ the people to provide the services we need to provide. I mean, I did 2 building projects the last 3 years. Each permit was $5,000, and we're waiting 90 days for permits for them to be authorized to go ahead with the building project. That's a huge amount of money out there that we have waiting to bring in because we're understaffed. Okay, so we need to staff that department so we can bring the money in.
Okay,
It only makes sense.
I understand. Let's go to this side of the table. I've
Is
seen.
this a jump-in kind of-
Yeah, it's a jump-in kind of thing. So Joanne, you haven't been here, so jump in.
What was your actual question?
Well, we were talking about business climate. That's how we got down this road.
Okay. Well, I think your business climate in here, it's different, depends on what business you're in. You know, if you're in the business of using government funds, it's very good. Because there's a lot of federal and state dollars that come in here, and county dollars. There's a lot of vendors out there that use that. But business climate out there, I mean, here we're at the chamber, good example. Here's a candid conversation. It's held at 1 o'clock in the afternoon here. What, you know, if you want a business climate, you have to be conducive to business. I'm bored in vacation time. I'm going to go here for 15 minutes, folks. Here, I think you need to really look at, you know, this is a question coming from the chamber. What can you do to make it more business friendly, starting with in the government? It's really things like this. When are you holding events for people to come there? Are events being held so that you take away from their business, or are you holding events back and forth? I don't mean to bash you, but I think that's a reality when
Sure.
you're looking around here, you're missing some candidates who are work. I mean, when you run for office, you know, my employer does not give me time off. Doesn't give me 1 ounce. It all comes out of my vacation pay. That's something that the chamber right there could promote. Allowing people to have even non-paid time.
We could hold this later if you want to come later, this evening.
Okay, everybody, can you come back tonight? But, I mean, that's, it's not just in government. It's all across the board there. And I think in the, like I said, it's different for business. Is this a good business climate?
But let me refute that for a second, Joanne. Now you've got me going. And I tell you what,
I
one of the
know I
reasons
would.
that we're recording this is that so our people can see it after hours. You
But
don't
we
have
are
to-
your people.
Yeah.
We
But
are your
We have
people.
1,275 members out there,
Yes.
representing about 45,000 workers. So we're recording it so they can go to their computer this evening and click on it. So we're making a little sacrifice to be here. I would grant you that. But we're hoping that a lot of folks are able to see this that way. So that said, I take your point and I understand. John and then her.
I'll make it quick.
Okay. We have 4 minutes.
Joanne has a fine point here. We all have to work together. If there's any turmoil in the city administration, it needs to be all smoothed out. The integrity of a handshake needs to be restored. Once that's in order, then it's more conducive for businesses to approach the Chamber of Commerce to establish themselves in this community.
Okay. Her.
Well, I want to comment on some of the things Charlie said, of course. First off, 90 days for a building permit. Each building permit is different. It doesn't average anything. It depends on the project. And it depends on how well the architect does his or her job. It depends on how well and how timely the person gets the request in. Some are very quick, some are not. Cirrus didn't take 8 months. The whole project took about 8 months, and I'm tickled. We had a variety of partners on a very complex project. We had city, county, state, the military, and Cirrus, and many others coming together. We had contaminated soil. We got that project together in an incredible amount of time, and they're employing 200 more people. And I would like to take Bill King and sit him down right here, because I talked to Bill just recently, and he raved about how quickly we turned that project around. I'm going to just call you out, Charlie. You continuously say that we should be hiring people in the building permit office. And you know what? You point the finger and you say, it's politics that gets in the way. The easiest thing for me to do would be to hire 5 people in the building permit office. The implications of the pain wouldn't come for 20 or 30 years when those people retire and they get retiree health care. That would be a very political thing to do, because I would get political gain from it now. And who would pay for it? The people that are out 20 or 30 years holding administrative positions. That would be the easy thing. Charlie, I always say, run the place like a business. That's what I'm doing. I'm thinking 20 or 30 years down the road, who's going to pay the price when we guarantee people $2 million maximum for retiree health care costs? And it's time we did start running it like a business. It's important that we get an agreement from AFSCME before we hire, because we can't afford anymore to give retiree health care benefits to people for free until death. We can't afford it. We can't give in. This is just a line in the sand. We got to hold it.
Okay, we're going to come back to this topic in just a minute. We're going to talk about the building inspection department, and we'll do that after we take a break. And so we're going to take a 3-minute break, and we'll be right back.